And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday. It's March 25th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. It's turned out right now to be somewhat of a rainy Friday. Sprinkling rain this morning, but it's looking up, and it's going to get warmer one of these days. We're going to talk about Wilson Bank and Trust this morning, as we do each Friday at this time. Jill Booker is with us this morning. Jill, we'll call her a veteran. She's been around for a long time at Wilson Bank. She is now Vice President, Retail and Operations Manager. And good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
It's always great to see you.
And I was asking you earlier, you were branch manager for a while, and you have obtained or been appointed to this position. It's been a year or longer?
It has. It's been a little bit over a year, and it's been a great change, but I do really miss a lot of my regular customers.
But no doubt you've always done a good job, and I'll bet you're just setting the world on fire in what you're doing now.
You are very kind. I appreciate that. I love what I do, so.
Well, you're a people person, and you're somebody that, I'll be honest, I miss over there at the Castle Heights branch. Although for the last couple of years I've been using the drive-through more than I have been using the going in. But when I've gone in, I've missed you. How's that?
Thank you for saying that. And that tends to be the trend. People are really using those drive-thrus, or using our mobile app, or going to our online services. But come into the branches. We do have some remodels that are out there with our Castle Heights. Like you said, you had been in that, and you had noticed that it had been updated. Same with our Baddour location and Tennessee Boulevard. They're not quite done, but they're getting there. They're almost done.
Well, that kind of becomes necessary after a period of time. You just feel like you need to make a little change, a little remodeling, refreshing.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I'm at the main office, and I think it's beautiful, but then I can go to like a Murfreesboro office, and I'm like, it's a big difference. I'm like, wow. So,
well, what all are you doing that you want to talk about this morning?
Well, it is springtime, so we've got a lot going on. I do want to mention that we've got our community shred days that are coming up in April. April the 2nd is going to be our first shred day, and it's at our main office in our Hermitage. It's going to be from 9 to 11 or until the trucks are full. Of course, it's first come, first serve. 50 pounds is the limit. Just a reminder, no batteries, no electronics, no trash, just shred, just paper that you want to get rid of.
Right.
So.
Well, that's a great service, and I guess people look forward to that, maybe save up for it.
I think so. I know I was cleaning out my great aunt's attic, and she had paperwork from like 1920. So you don't need to keep paperwork that long, people. You really do need to shred it.
All right. And what's the date on that again?
That is going to be April the 2nd at our main office in Hermitage, and it's 9 to 11 or until the truck is full.
So that's next Saturday.
That is already next Saturday.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to bring up is, of course, summertime, and Easter's around the corner, so that means the bunny's going to be out there visiting our locations. We do have him come into our main office on April the 16th. He'll be there from 9 to 12. So just obviously have your phones ready to take some cute pictures.
And speaking of the main office, that's where you work from now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, just to let everybody know.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else you got for us?
Well, just to remind everybody, it is still a great time to buy and to refinance. Rates are still really good. We do have great deposit products, so we would just love for you to come in and just look at your total relationship and see how we can expand.
Yeah, and another thing, I mean, we've had the Fed raise interest rates 0.25%, and as a result, it filters down. Some rates probably increase, and the thing about it is, people, if you're going to be borrowing money, thinking about it, even in the foreseeable future, it might be better to go ahead now. The sooner the better, because there's a good chance rates are going to creep up this year.
There is. That's what they're saying, that there could be another 6 times that it keeps moving. So it is a good time if you're thinking of buying that vehicle or remodeling or ready to move up and get a bigger house. It's definitely time to look into that.
All right. Well, you've got a loan officer, I guess, at every branch.
We do.
And it's You try to say yes more often.
We do. We want to find a yes for our customers. Absolutely.
Well, anything else you got for us this morning?
Just to remind again on the Shred Day next weekend, and Easter Bunny is going to be at one of our locations in all of our markets. So if the main office is not convenient for you, just, call one of our offices or go to our website, because he's going to be hopping around everywhere.
Well, I try to keep up with how many branches there are, and you keep growing, and I forget, but it's approaching 30.
30. It is approaching
is
30. It's approaching 30.
That includes the main office.
That does, yes.
30 branches of Wilson Bank and Trust. We say excellence in banking since 1987, and there's growth to prove it, I guess.
That's right.
Well, Jill, thanks for being with us today. It's always good to see you. And we're glad you enjoy your new role as of about a year as Vice President, Retail and Operations Manager. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Middle Tennessee's community bank. We're 10 after the hour, and I want to welcome my guest, Senator Mark Pody.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is good to see you as always. How are you?
Coleman, I'm doing awesome. We had a great week down at the Capitol this week. And one of the things that we had was Leadership Wilson came down, and as I got to introduce them on the floor, and of course, Dory Mitchell was there. I think this is her 15th year doing it, as long as Kathy. And so one of the things I was asking the class, what makes you guys different? What's about the Leadership Wilson? And they all told me they're the best class ever.
Well, I figured you were going to ask them why they thought they were the best class. They all say that.
They all say that. I think that's ingrained to them. When you start, you must be the best class ever. So, but it was great to see them down there, and they got a chance to go with the pictures with the governor and such, and I think they enjoyed that. I did get to watch Dory do some rap, freestyle rap. Never heard of that before, but there was some of the youth there, and they were recording, and so Dory's on camera somewhere or recorded doing freestyle rap.
Well, do you accomplish anything good this week?
We did. So just to give you a perspective, 2 weeks ago we had 415 bills in committee. And last week we had 310, so that was a pretty substantial reduction. This week we got 149 for the upcoming week, 149 bills in all the committees in the Senate. So the numbers are definitely going down, and the governor is going to be coming out with his new budget on Tuesday. So it's going to be, and this is his revised budget. And it'll be a pretty big significant document that we got to look at. He gives us his preliminary budget like the first week of February, last week of January, and then it's as we get more numbers in and adjustments are made, then he comes out with his revised budget, and that's coming out this week. So we will have that, and that's going to be one of the final steps to saying where we're going to be ending up.
What do you expect to be revised?
Well, I can tell you, and you heard from the very beginning when he came out with the original budget, I said there's no money back to the taxpayers. We haven't, he spent all the extra money on new programs and so forth, and I've been pretty vocal, as well as others, like myself. We've been saying we've got to find ways to give money back to the taxpayers. We're going through come to unique situations, higher inflation rates and so forth. And so this week, in fact, yesterday, he came out and said he wanted to do a 30-day food tax. And he's also talking about money giving back for gas tax. So different ways that he's looking at to perhaps give some of the money back to taxpayers. And I'm all for wanting to give this money back.
Do you think there will be maybe 2 or 3 different ways, or are you going to settle on one?
I think there's going to be several ways that we're going to be looking at doing it. So I would really like to see a minimum of $1 billion going back to Tennesseans. And the more I can push on that, I want to do. I want to see more going into the rainy day fund. There was something he said that I wasn't really thrilled with, and he said he wanted to help fund a new Titan Stadium. And I just am not thrilled, because nowhere in my Constitution does it say that Tennesseans should be involved in a football stadium. I don't see that that's the state's role necessarily. I understand the economic development that it could bring, but I also understand that I would much rather keep government in a small, limited form and let business handle business, and government needs to stay out of that as much as we possibly can.
That's if something like that were going to pass, that is a popular item. They're our pro football team for the most part, and it's probably easier to make a move like that than it is some of the other things. But how strong is the opposition?
I think it's going to go through. There's a lot of people, and there is an argument for the economic development that it does bring, and I understand that because, and nothing against the Titans. I like the Titans. I go down and watch them play.
They're your second favorite. Huh?
So, and we can be proud that we got a professional football team here. And then another argument, if we don't, another city might offer them something, and they, just like they left Houston to come here, And I get that argument. However, I want to stay as limited of government as I possibly can, as low as taxes as we can, give it back to the taxpayers. If the taxpayers want to give it in their own funding a different way, that's up to them. But as long as I'm working with other people's money, I'm going to be as frugal as I possibly can.
Okay, with that, it's time for us to take a break. Our Friday Senate Report with Senator Mark Pody will continue. This is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic volume on the increase now on 65 coming up through Williamson County, Franklin area as well. Going north on 65 through Cool Springs, Briley Parkway, and Winthrop. They're working that accident right now. And one on the west side of town had traffic blocked 7300 block Old Harding Pike. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Check them out online at GatlinburgWineCellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's time for a change in Wilson County. I'm Philip Warren, and I'm running for county mayor to provide a fresh perspective, proactive ideas, and lead with integrity. Wilson County is a growing county that needs someone with experience who can provide visionary growth and develop a plan that encompasses all government services to tackle our infrastructure issues. I'm excited to provide that leadership to make Wilson County's future brighter and better than what we have today. Proven Republican, proven leadership. I'm Philip Warren, and I approve this message.
You have a vision. We have the financing to make it happen. At Wilson Bank and Trust, we have the resources that individuals, families, and businesses need to grow and achieve their goals. As an independent local community bank, we're able to provide loans with great rates, fast decision-making, and personal service from one of our local friendly lenders. We believe in the power of possibility. It's why we say yes more often. Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Coleman and Company here on a Friday morning, our Friday Senate Report with Senator Mark Pody. Let me just remind everybody of the Doo-Wop's second annual concert this Sunday to Capitol Theater. It's my understanding that tickets are sold out. But we have 2 tickets to give away. Now, we're not going to do it till the second half of our program this morning, but I'm going to tell everybody now, if you fail to get tickets, we got 2 complimentary tickets to the Doo-Wops. We're going to give away to a phone caller later on in the program today. So stay with us. Well, Senator, back to you. How far are we from winding down?
Probably about 4 to 5 weeks. I would imagine.
You think you'll go through the month of April or almost through?
Almost through.
Okay.
I'm gonna. If I had to guess, I'd be saying the last week of April is when we're done.
Well, I've got you and the others, the other 2 representatives, penciled in on my calendar through April, so don't let me down.
Okay. So I don't think there's going to be much of the fights left. We still got the old BEP funding of what we're going to look at, and that's a pretty big issue. But outside of that, they're minor. I don't want to say anything's minor, but there's not near as many fights as we typically have. In fact, I told Debbie, I came in the other day on a Monday, and I said, so Debbie, tell me, because she tracks everything, how many emails we get, who's interested in what, and so forth. I said, tell me, what is the biggest issue on people's minds this weekend? And she said, Mark, it was trout lines. And I said, what do you mean trout lines? And she said, well, there's a bill going to be going through about how we fish and how the lines are put across the creeks and such. And I said, Debbie, if the biggest issue we had to be concerned about is trout lines, there's not much happening in the state of Tennessee as far as that. And that was just a couple of weeks ago, So right now it looks like the BEP is probably the biggest thing that we still have left, as well as the budget.
Yeah.
Now, there was a couple things that we did, and Coleman, I sent out a survey, and this went to thousands and thousands of people, and Debbie's getting it all in order right now. But some of the preliminary numbers came back, and I said one of the questions was, does Tennessee spend enough money in K through 12 as far as the CTE? If they're not going to college, do we do enough to help them in trades? And 72% of the people that responded so far had said we need to spend more money on CTE and not as much in college preparation, but get them ready to go to work. And I'm just trying to listen to what the constituents say. Another one we asked about was marijuana. And the question was, what's your opinion on legalizing marijuana? And, half of the people, 50.8%, said that we should have medical marijuana. They wanted it for medical use only. 25% said no legalization at all, and about 23% said that they wanted to have both medical and recreational. But it gives me a good idea of where a lot of people were sitting on issues like that. So I'm really grateful for those people that send these back in to me and help me out. Another question we asked was prayer in government meetings. Should we pray before each government meeting? And so the question was, do we like that? Should that continue? 93%. Overwhelming seat. 93% said yes, that is something that we should be doing. Something else that was of interest, and I'm trying to get bills yet for this year as well as get ready for next year, should the governor's ability to invoke emergency powers be limited? And the answers were limited to just 2 weeks, or it can't be renewed, or only renewed with state legislature and so forth. And by far, most of the people that responded said that we need to limit it some way. Over 75% said that the governor's got too much authority and we need to rein him in a little bit. 53.8% said that he can only do it if he has legislative approval at that point. So he can't do it all by himself. He needs somebody to say, somebody oversight to say, yes, we should do it. One of them that came back that surprised me was, I asked how patients felt if their rights were adequately protected in hospitals, because we've had a lot of people, and I was expecting these numbers to be much different. So it came in, and over half the people said that they felt that they were treated well in hospitals and that they had enough rights and so forth. And that was one of the things that I was actually running. So this kind of information helps me a lot when I'm thinking about bills for next year and so forth. And to finish it off, one other question I asked was, should government agencies be allowed to access our own personal medical information? Sometimes they're doing that for vaccinations and so forth. And almost 2/3 said they should never have that access. It's always should be private. But 1/3 of them did say, under certain circumstances, that they should have that right to check our medical information and so forth. So I thought that was interesting surveys, and I appreciate everybody that sent back the surveys.
There's 2 or 3 of those that are kind of hard for me. One has to do with the power of the governor. When something happens and it's totally unexpected, and some action's got to be taken, and you may not have time to assemble the legislature and this sort of, the governor may need to act in a big hurry. But then there's always the possibility of somebody in charge and having a certain authority to abuse that and to overuse it. And where do you draw the line? That's kind of the big question there.
That's exactly right. So we used to have 60 days. He could do it, and he didn't have to have any oversight for 60 days. And what's happened in our last governor, and I'm not trying to say good or bad, but this is what brought it out, is he kept renewing it over and over and over, and it lasted, over 18 months. He just kept renewing his emergency powers. So asking this, what should be, and they said that he shouldn't be able to renew it unless he has legislative oversight.
Well, is that specified? Is it detailed in the Constitution?
It's not in the Constitution, but it is in state law that what he can and can't do. Now, we did bring it back down to say it's no longer 60 days, it's 45 days that he can renew it, but he can keep renewing that. So I think we're going to bring back and see if we can't make it that after 45 days or after 30 days that he's got to call us back into session, or we got to come back into session, or it's not going to be renewed.
It wouldn't be that difficult to call the legislature back for a day of session in 45 days.
No, it would not. We've been able to come back in, and we've had more special sessions almost underneath this governor than almost any other governor since the history of Tennessee. So coming in for a special session is not unique. We've done that often, and I think that we need that kind of oversight if they're going to suspend rules and laws and so forth.
What was that last one that you read? I think it's on the page you just turned over there.
And that was saying if the government should have access to our medical information.
Yes, yeah.
So
why does the government need access? What are cases where we do?
So it is ironic, but there's actually vaccination status that the government keeps track of who's had vaccinations, and they were tracking us if they would know if Mark Pody had a vaccination or not.
What business?
That's a great question. That's why
what business is it of the government to know? So,
and that's what we're going to be doing, and we're trying to limit so government can't keep that information. That they can't store our medical information.
As you were doing, I was trying to think in what situation do they need to know? And right off the top of my head, none comes to mind.
It was vaccinations that they've been collecting on us, and we want that kind of stuff to stop. Government is government overreach has gotten too big. It's gotten much too big, and government's getting out of its lane of where it is. The government's supposed to be here to protect our rights and protect who we are, not to rule our lives or to ride over our lives. They're there for a specific reason, and that's to protect us, not to be a daddy to us, not to be anything else. Our decisions are supposed to be up to us.
Did you have a pretty good response on your survey?
Oh, yes. We've gotten over, between the surveys we've done, we got close to 2,000 people have responded back so far.
That's a good lot. Sampling.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, that was...
Sometimes these surveys may just ask 100 people. I mean, they pick out sort of the different categories of people to ask, but and those surveys usually are fairly accurate. But you got over 2,000 people
responded back. Yes,
that's good.
So it was a very, very, very good survey. Now our base was we sent it over to almost 20,000 people got out. But when we're talking, it's going to be almost it won't be 10%, but it'll be close to a huge percentage that way, and it gives me a great sampling. And we did one survey was online, another one was in mail where they actually had to mail it back, and a lot of them had written a lot of comments on, and Debbie's going through all those comments. We're reading them, we're responding back to them and getting them back. But so somebody had to take time and work to do it for us, and we appreciate it when they did it.
You doing any traveling today? Are you going to?
I am. I'm actually going. There's a prayer breakfast that I'm speaking at right after we're done here, and I'll be there. It's a men's group, and I do a lot of those. You know that different churches call me in to do prayer meetings, and I always try and talk about, hey, what is the role of government and church, and what does that look like, as well as what are we trying to do to keep our Christian values, and what is government's role and what isn't it? There's certain things that we should be doing and certain things that government should not be doing, and we want to be making sure that we're each in our own lanes.
Well, what's next week look like?
So next week, as we go back in, I am almost completely done with all my committees. I've only got 3 bills left that I'm working on. Otherwise, all my bills are either passed or in calendar. The biggest one that I've got to work on is Texas passed a law, and the Texas law said that if there's an abortion performed, that somebody could sue civilly the person that helped facilitate that abortion. And we've copied that bill. I've copied it almost word for word, because that law has actually gone to the Texas Supreme Court, and the Texas Supreme Court upheld it. And then it was appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. The U.S. Supreme Court said it was a state's issue and put it back to Texas. So that is actually in force right now in Texas. We're doing the exact same thing in Tennessee. It's reducing the number of abortions in Texas substantially. I mean, a lot, almost 50%. And we want to see if we can do the same thing here. Now, does it mean that it's completely through the court systems? No, there's still some issues that we've got to do. And just because it is good in Texas doesn't mean that our courts would rule the same way. But that's the last big bill that I've got, and it's very close in committee whether I got the votes or not. And it's unfortunate, but right now the governor has a bill that's gone through and passed, and it's going through the court systems, and that was the heartbeat bill that he passed, a year ago. And he said he would rather not have a new one maybe competing with that one that he's got in courts right now. So he's saying he's a little bit against this bill right now, not because of what the bill does, but because of the timing. He said, can we just not do it right now? And a lot of committee members are saying, Mark, we might be for the bill, but we don't know if this is the right time to do it or not.
So we'll see.
That's exactly right. I'm going to try and run it, and we'll just see how the votes go in committee.
Let me say hello to your wife, Barbara. She critiques you each week as to whether you allow me enough time to talk.
Oh, Coleman. Let me tell you, she's your biggest fan. I don't think she listens to me. She just listens to you.
Well, she's got you to hear all the time, at least when you're there. Well, hello, Barbara. We appreciate having you and glad to know you're doing well, too. Well, we got about 30 seconds left. It's always good to have you and look forward to it each Friday.
Yes, and now next Friday, Coleman, I'm going to have my chamber meeting. So that'd be 2 weeks, because the first Friday of every month we're going to be at the chamber. I want to make sure people are aware of that, and I do want to give a shout out to the board that does the advisory for me, and they are so helpful. I have people from education, I have people from all walks of life there, and they mean such a big difference. So just a big shout out to telling them thank you for their time and their effort.
All right, we'll see you next Friday, and thank you very much. That is part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more. Please keep it here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got $50 off, $250 repair offer to owners of 4 to 10-year-old Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury vehicles. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, let's check back in with Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic volume on the increase now on 65, coming up through Williamson County, Franklin area as well. Going north on 65 through Cool Springs, Briley Parkway, and Winthrop. They're working that accident right now. And one on the west side of town had traffic blocked, 7300 block of Old Harding Pike. Gatlinburg Wine Cellar is home of the world-famous cotton candy wine. Check them out online at gatlinburgwinecellar.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
It's a new era in Cumberland University Phoenix baseball. The Ryan Hunt era has begun as he has taken over the reins of the program from Hall of Famer Woody Hunt. And speaking of Woody Hunt, he'll join me, Randy Salas, in the broadcast booth for this season's games. You can hear every game on one of 4 platforms: WANT 98.9 FM, WCOR 1490 AM, GoCumberlandAthletics.com, or WANTFM.com. Don't miss any of the action. Go Phoenix!
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
It's finally Friday and the weather will be fantastic. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds with highs near 60 degrees. On Saturday, skies will be mostly sunny with highs near 60 degrees once again. We stay dry on Sunday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. Let's look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2. It's a Friday. We're ready to talk with the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. I'm glad we got both ladies here this morning, Medina and Miss Judy. Miss Judy and Medina, however you want to do it. They're located at 1330 West Main Street. They're great people. They offer great service, and talk to some of their clients, and they'll agree with you, I know. Somebody answers the phone 24 hours a day. They're people you can trust. Good morning, Miss Judy.
Good morning. It's Friday.
Yeah.
Woo.
And how are you? We can already tell how you are.
That's right.
You're excited.
There's just something I love. Friday night's my favorite night in the whole world because I think there's something about it. Saturday night when you go to bed, you gotta go to church the next day, and Friday night there is usually nothing Saturday morning. So that's your free night. It's always been when I went to school. Everything Friday night was my favorite night.
Breakfast this morning.
That's right.
Every Friday.
That's right. Friday morning we always get to eat breakfast. Like I don't eat the rest of the week.
But Dana, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just sitting listening.
Well, Miss Judy's been around long enough to know a lot of the rules and regulations, those that have changed, things that you need to be aware of, and is really a good real estate teacher. I've learned a lot listening to you.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm never quit learning, because every time I think I know it all, I learn something new. So if you think you know it all in real estate, get ready. There's something new around the corner.
When you do know it all, they change it.
That's right. That's right. Or a new experience happens, or somebody does something different every time. But anyway, there was one thing I wanted to say this morning. A lot of times people will call us and they'll say, my parents are getting elderly and they really need to downsize and move from their home, and we want to get them in a condo, and we want y'all to convince them to move. Well, sometimes that can be a long process, and we tell them okay, but we love that challenge because some elderly people, they're ready. They got their minds made up. Yep, we're ready to sell our home that we've been in 40 years. We're ready to move and downsize, ready to go. And we go and visit with them, and we can tell pretty much the first visit, are they ready or are they not ready? And sometimes we know, okay, we got to slow walk them because they're like, we know we don't need to mow this yard. We know we need to get rid of some of this stuff. But we got to take our time here. So we specialize in that a lot, and we know how to move them closer to the goal of getting rid of some of the stuff so they can downsize and move to the condo.
Make it a slow
it's a process
rather than all at once.
That's right, because elderly people, they can get their nerves torn all up about this, and they can make themselves sick about it, and then the family's like, oh man, now they're not going anywhere. So they come to us and say, can you take care of our parents? And especially if maybe a father has died and the mother's by herself, and they say she doesn't need to have that home by herself anymore, and they won't listen to us. We all take care of it, and we do a lot of that, and we enjoy that because we get to know them. And you can't go in there and just say, oh, you need to get rid of this, get rid of that. This is their prized possessions. They've collected this stuff over the years, and they've went through a recession and a depression all their life, and they've saved this stuff, and you just can't go in there and say, oh, get rid of that, that's not worth it. You have to be careful how you handle this stuff. And
it's almost like you're talking to me.
Well, it's hard because these things mean things to them, and we walk it through that. Let's decide, what do you really want to take with you? What do you want to take? Let's make lists, and the things that you want to take that you can't part with, that's what we're going to take with us, and we're going to do this day by day until we know exactly what we're taking. And then we're going to figure out how we're going to get rid of the rest of it. We're going to give to kids what's going to be sorted out. And then we've got people that we can get to auction it off. We got people that estate sales. We got people that will come and purchase it. We've done yard sales. We have ways to get rid of it for you, because some people are overwhelmed. What am I going to do with all this? How am I going to move all this stuff? How am I going to do this? So we've got a plan that we sit down with you and go, here's how we're going to do it. Now, this might take us 3 months, or it might take 2 months. It's according to how fast they want to go. And we work at their pace, because you cannot push them, or that it's a disaster.
Detrimental to push.
That's right. We've learned that we go at their pace, and when we see when they get to that place, they're ready. And when they're ready, then we move on. And in all the years we've been doing this, I don't think we usually go back after 6 weeks after they've moved, and I don't think we've been to one that said, you know what, I wish I hadn't done that. They miss their home. They'll always miss their home and some of their stuff, but most of them say, I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I don't have to dust all that stuff anymore. I don't have to mow that big yard anymore. And they say, I think I can sit back and enjoy my golden years. And you are amazed at how 6 months ago, they were like, I don't know if I can do this. And then you see them sitting in their condo or their smaller home, and they're like, now we can just get up and go, and we don't have, it takes me 2 hours to clean the house instead of worrying about this all week. And the guy will be sitting there going, 15 minutes and I'll have that front yard mowed. And then when they've been worrying about all this, and it's a burden on them, and they just don't realize it. And for us, a lot of times children call us and say, we need your help. Let's work them through that. So call us if you got parents that are, they need to downsize, and sometimes it takes a year. I mean, we've had some that we've had to walk them through it for a year, and then when they're ready, sometimes they'll call us and go, you know what, come back out here. I think we need to talk again. So we work through that, and we'll always be gentle, and sometimes if they decide we just can't do it, then that's okay.
Yeah.
They'll stay there, but someday they'll be ready to do it. So just call us and we'll be ready to help them.
You got something, Medina?
I just have a little something.
You go right ahead.
Just a little. But we have a new listing I wanted to talk about, and it is a farm we wanted to talk about in Watertown, and it's located at 192 Haley Road, and it's off of Alexandria Road, Linwood Road, but it is 80.89 acres.
Oh.
And it is completely fenced.
It's almost 81 acres.
Exactly. But it has a pond on it. It's completely fenced, like I said. It has electricity. It has water tap and city water. The electricity goes into one of the barns on the property. There are 2 barns. One of them is a refurbished barn, and that one has electricity. The other one is a hay barn with a dirt floor. And it has had cattle on it. So you could use it for cattle, you could use it to build a house. It has been perked for a 4-bedroom as well. So you could build a house on where the 4-bedroom perk is, and then use the rest of it as just pasture, acreage, or whatever. Or someone could come in and subdivide it out, and you take your part to live on, and then the other people take what they want. But it's in Watertown. It's a prime piece of property. It's a beautiful piece of property and a farm, but it's listed at $995. So if anybody is looking for some acreage and nobody to build around them, this is the place for them.
All right.
So give us a call on that one, and also we have another farm coming up. It's going to be on Vesta Road toward Gladeville, and so give us a call on that one. We're still working on the price, but give us a call if you're looking. It's going to be 50 acres, and give us a call on that one, and we'll be glad to tell you all about that one.
615-443-3130.
And the one in Watertown is only 2 miles to the high school. That's how close it is to town.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thank y'all.
And you remember, you don't make a move without us.
All right. See y'all next Friday. Thank you so much. Medina, Hemmentoller, Judy Cox, C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. We're about 18 minutes before the hour. Terrific. Teresa is here from the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center. Good morning to you.
How are you? You know, when they were sitting there talking, maybe your boys have talked to Judy, and she did that to try to talk you and Helen into downsizing. But my generation, I think, is going to be different, because I'm sitting here going, I'd love to clean less bathrooms, and I'd love for Randy to not have to be out painting the deck and mowing the yard. I think we're ready. We're ready for the downsizing.
I'm like George Jones. I ain't ready yet.
You don't need a rocking chair, do you?
No. Let me mention that one more time here real quickly. The Doo-Wops concert is this Sunday. We've got 2 tickets we're going to be giving away.
Ooh,
but not until after we go to our break, and after that we'll do it. But Teresa's, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there to talk about the Senior Citizen Center.
We do. We have so much going on, Coleman. One of our things that we have been discussing is, our budget and all the crazy things that are going on. Patty has been, I just go by her office every day, and her head is down, and she's got that pencil sharpening it. And with the prices of the groceries going up and all the supplies going up, we're really trying to sharpen the pen, and we're always trying to do fundraisers. So I did want to mention, we had, and I know I wasn't here last month, and Patty talked about the Valentine dinner and,
we
how
did
great
miss
it
you.
was.
I should have mentioned that.
I told Billy I couldn't even squeak a sound, and you know me, I like to talk, so I was pretty miserable. Didn't feel bad, but could not even squeak a sound out.
Yeah.
But our Valentine dinner was such a great fundraiser. It was a great time. And next is our spring yard sale. It's going to be coming up in May. I believe it's in May. I wrote it down, May the 14th. But we need stuff. You know, you can't have a yard sale without stuff. So for everybody that is thinking about downsizing, or you can't get through your closet because you got so much stuff in there, we are accepting right now spring and summer clothing, of course, purses, jewelry, all those accessories that us ladies like to wear, small kitchen appliances, linen, household decorations, pictures, knickknacks, any kind of kitchen stuff. We just can't do like large appliances and large furniture, mainly because we just don't have room for them. But that's part of our budget. I know that we are needing a new ice maker, and I was talking to one of my friends that's on a board, and we're going to ask for some money, and she said, well, we need to make sure y'all are doing other things to raise money. And I said, we are always doing something to raise money. When you're a nonprofit, that's how you keep the doors open, and that's how you keep going is fundraising. And so anyway, we are accepting donations of any of your good treasures. We need treasures, because we won't make money at a yard sale without treasures. So, we need treasures. And of course, we are always accepting monetary donations. We do accept cash and check, Coleman. But if you are spring cleaning, if you are thinking about downsizing, we would love to get your stuff. We do get a lot of our members who come in, and maybe our members that have passed away and their kids bring their treasures in. And one of our new employees that's working with us a few days a week, Wendy, we kind of got to know her. Her grandmother was a huge collector of cookbooks. And they brought us in probably at least 200 cookbooks. And so our last yard sale, a lot of the money that we made was from those cookbooks. My generation doesn't do cookbooks as much. We look it up online. We get on Pinterest if we want to do something. But I love cookbooks, and I did buy several of those cookbooks myself. But if you've got things like that and you just don't know what to do with it, we are so glad to take the donations so that we can make this next fundraiser that we're having a big success.
Well, you need clothes.
Spring and summer clothes.
Right.
We just sent all of our fall and winter clothes that were left over and didn't sell. We usually send those to another charity, and so that they can use them. And but spring and summer clothes we are accepting right now.
So the spring and summer you would have on sale that day, and then what's not sold, you go into the unique boutique.
It would go into the boutique,
and then next fall you give them away if you haven't sold them by then.
That's right. Okay. And then we'll be begging in the fall for our fall yard sale. And I said sometimes I think when people see my phone number pop up or see me come in, they wonder what I'm going to be asking for. But that's how we do it. My sponsors that I have for bingos and all of the fun activities that we have, we couldn't do if it weren't for a wonderful community. And I love the other day when I was listening, you had Phil Lacey on here. Yep. And Phil talked about what a great community we have. And Coleman, you and I have never lived anywhere but Lebanon, Tennessee. And so because we know this is the greatest place in the world to live, but it really is a great place to be. And we love the Lebanon Senior Center, and and we love the friendships that are made there, and we just want to keep doing what we're doing. So help us out, guys.
Okay, let's take our break right here, and more coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:47. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Stop in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash over here on 440 westbound. It's going to be right when you come off I-40 before you get the west end. Again, that's 440 westbound over here near I-40 on this wreck involving some injuries. Traffic's building pretty good now. Down 65, we see it really heavy southbound through Robertson County, through Sumner County as well, coming inbound on Vietnam Vets. Give yourself a little bit of extra time out here. We've seen a ton of radar. PensacolaBeach.com has everything you need to book your next getaway. Come on, you deserve a vacation, and it's really not even that far. Check it out at PensacolaBeach.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's time for a change in Wilson County. I'm Philip Warren, and I'm running for county mayor to provide a fresh perspective, proactive ideas, and lead with integrity. Wilson County is a growing county that needs someone with experience who can provide visionary growth and develop a plan that encompasses all government services to tackle our infrastructure issues. I'm excited to provide that leadership to make Wilson County's future brighter and better than what we have today. Proven Republican, proven leadership. I'm Philip Warren, and I approve this message.
Here comes the sun.
Hey, Medina, here comes the sun. Spring is just around the corner.
Call us and we can come over and tell you what your home is worth in this market, and it's free.
Yes, free and no obligation. It's time to get ready for the spring buyers. Inventory is low. We have buyers who need listings.
Here comes the sun. And remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team 443-3130.
It's alright.
All right. Thanks for joining us on a Friday. And now our final segment of Coleman Company. I told you earlier the Doo-Wop's second annual concert is this Sunday, March 27th, 3 p.m. at the Capitol Theater. We've got 2 tickets to give away. The number to call right now, 444-9899, 615-444-9899. We got 2 tickets to see the Doo-Wops.
Ooh, that'll be a fun afternoon, won't it?
I got to have them on. It's been 2 or 3 weeks ago, I guess.
Yeah,
and of course, there's a different lineup of people now.
Yeah.
We lost Anita Van Hook, and Debbie moved off with her husband to Montana, and Kay Maynard left the group, but we still have Lynn Winfrey and Regina King and Prissy Deffendahl and Michelle Robertson, and they're going to do a great job.
Oh, they will. They will. I remember Michelle when she was in high school, because I'm old, Coleman, and but before she was Michelle Robertson is when she and Bill were dating. But Michelle's got such a beautiful voice, and I know that it's going to be a great afternoon. Y'all are going to have a blast.
All right, well, we've got a winner. The winner is Cheryl Bean.
Yay, Cheryl and Ralph get to go. Awesome.
All right, let's get back to what you're doing. You've got your spring sale coming up, which is another fundraiser, and you've explained why you have them and how necessary they are to keep the doors open. But there is a lot going on. We played cornhole yesterday.
We did play cornhole yesterday.
Some people did. My play could have been better.
Oh, but it's always so much fun. Our cornhole players are doing so great, and our old cornhole boards were getting kind of old, and they asked me to try to find us some new ones, and so we've got new cornhole boards that we were able to purchase with some other fundraiser money that we had, and so anyway, we're doing cornhole 3 times a month now, and just have a ball. It's a good group of people in there, and I think for the most part they're pretty happy when somebody else wins. You hang around and watch, no matter if you win or lose, don't you, Coleman?
It's more fun to win.
Well, of course it's more fun to win. I just have fun.
I'm not a sore loser.
No, you are not.
But it's more fun to win.
It is more fun to win. I just have fun being the referee and the scorekeeper. And every now and then I get to play if they need an extra person. But it's just fun. And Patty and I do talk about it a lot. We love to see the faces. We love to see the friendships. And so many of these friends that are there would not know each other if it weren't for the Lebanon Senior Center. They come there because they need something to do. They need a friendship. I had the cutest little couple. Their granddaughter brought them in on Wednesday, I think it was, and I mentioned, and she said I wanted to show them around, and I said, well, I had my bingo tote on my hip. I said, I'm fixing to start bingo. Y'all stick around and play. Well, the little lady's eyes lit up. Bingo. And he said, well, you've won her over now. cutest little couple. She said they were both 85 years old, and they actually stayed, set them over there with Peggy Robinson and that fun little bunch. And guess what? That little lady won right off. First thing. I said, I'm going to tell you what, they're not going to like you if you come in here and win every time. But, and that whole table was so excited for her because she won.
People have played for 6 months and hadn't won.
Yeah. But, and it's just so much fun. Somebody to sit down and have lunch with. Even if you're not living alone, if people that are living alone, it's not always fun to eat by yourself. But even when you're not living alone, it's fun to have a different group of people to sit and enjoy lunch with sometimes. Yeah. So, yeah, we do lunch every day. Lunches are still $4 Monday through Thursday, $5 on Friday, and it's just a lot of fun. But we do have some programs I'd love to tell you about that are coming up. Our first one is going to be on Friday, April the 8th, and it's a program on managing your diabetes. And I have a lot of my seniors that are diabetic. A lot of them that say, well, my doctor says I'm borderline. And, that's a really good time to start thinking about watching your diet and your exercise. Little things like, do you have a glass of sweet tea for lunch every day? Maybe you could cut back on the sugar. Maybe, you could use the artificial sweeteners. Exercise can offset a lot of those carbs that you put into your body as well. And Gibbs Pharmacy does a really great program, and they're going to come in on Friday, April the 8th at 10 o'clock, do a program on managing your diabetes. Another program that we're going to be doing on Friday, April the 22nd at 10 o'clock is Jay Berry, who is an elder law attorney here in Lebanon, is going to come speak. And Jay has a really good staff there. He has several people that work with him that are very, very trained in elder law. And one of the main reasons that I called Jay, and he comes out several times a year, but in my Alzheimer's dementia caregiver support group, I had a lady, it was her first time to be there, and her husband had just been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and she said, when is the right time to do the power of attorney? When is the right time to get our will done and get things in order? And we all said yesterday. It's never too early, and sometimes it definitely can be too late. So, while they still have the mental capacity to sign and give you power of attorney and think about these decisions, when you have someone that you've been married to for 50 years and you've always made decisions together, you want to make sure you can still make those decisions together. And so, Jay Berry, and this is not just for people with Alzheimer's and dementia, everybody needs a will. I have seen so many situations in my 20 years there of people that didn't have a will, didn't have a proper will, and their loved ones did not receive what they should have, could have, what their desire was for them to receive. So, it's not going to cost you anything to just come listen to what Jay and his staff have to say Friday, April the 22nd at 10 o'clock. And everybody is welcome. If you want to bring your children, if you are children of elderly parents, you can come with your parents and come and hear what they have to say. Everybody is welcome to this program. We are also going to be having a fraud and scam prevention program. Wilson Bank and Trust is going to send out their Director of Security, Elvis Huff, and he is going to talk about fraud and scam prevention. And yet again, we've worked hard for what we have, and we sure don't want somebody to steal it from us. So that's going to be a great program, and that's Wednesday, April the 6th at 10:30. So mark your calendar. If you didn't write these down because I talk so fast, give us a call. We'll be glad to send you a newsletter, send you a calendar page, answer any questions that you have at the Lebanon Senior Citizen Center at 670 Coles Ferry Pike. Give us a call at 615-449-4600. Patty's going to be taking a group to Top Golf in Nashville. Have you done that, Coleman? I haven't either, but I want to. My stepson Ryan loves to play golf, and he loves to go, but you don't have to be a golfer even to enjoy Top Golf. And so Patty's going to take our bus, so she can only take 12, and the cost is going to be $45. She's going to do it on April the 19th, and I don't know that it's really lunches included, but they have 2 bays from what Patty is saying that they'll have, and they'll be like appetizers, refreshments, hors d'oeuvres, whatever you want to call it, snacks maybe, that will be available in that $45 that they're charging. So if you've always wanted to go play Top Golf, you didn't want to try to find parking downtown, I'd love to go too, because I still hadn't been. I'd love to see what it's all about. But anyway, that's going to be on April the 19th, and we'll start taking reservations for that on the first day of April, which is April Fool's Day, next Friday, April the 1st. Yes. Yeah, no fooling. I'm going to be taking a group shopping to Greenwood Mall in Bowling Green on April the 27th, and I'm taking a group to Bell Buckle on April the 20th. And I kind of had to kick my shopping trips a little later in the month because Coleman, don't tell her I told you, but Patty is going to be 60 years old.
Oh.
On April the 10th.
Huh.
She is. 1962 was an awesome year to be born. But Patty's going to be taking a week off. Her kids are coming in to celebrate her birthday with us. And so we're going to be, I'm moving my trips back a little later in the month. But we're excited about that. I'm sure there's going to do a lot of fun stuff for Patty when she turns 60. Can you believe that? Can you believe Patty will be 60?
Oh.
Can you believe I might follow her later this year? But anyway, we're looking forward to it. We've had so much fun in our first 59 years of life that we're ready for our next how many ever we get. We also are going to do an Easter Bunny Dirty Santa party that'll be coming up on April the 14th. We have lots of fun with our Dirty Santas. We've got Alzheimer's and dementia caregiver support groups, grief support groups. There's so much, and if you don't come by the Lebanon Senior Center and check us out, you're just missing out.
Well, we've come to the end of our time here. Always good to see you, and we'll see you next month.
I'll be here.
Teresa Botts, Lebanon Senior Citizen Center, and that's it for Friday. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Till Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.